We human beings come into this life craving connection. Before we know anything about the world, who we are, who our parents are, how we fit into a family, we instinctively reach out to connect with people around us. Our little fingers grasp whoever reaches out for us. The most important connection that we need from the beginning is with our mother. We want her touch. We crave her attention. We listen for her voice. We eagerly crave her love. We need her approval and her presence. We quickly crave connection with both parents and maybe with an extended family. We want to be loved. We need to belong. We crave connection. But for many of us, something goes wrong along the way, and we spend years or decades trying to find whatever was lost. We can be confused about what we need. We can seek substitutes. We can chase achievements that seem as though they might satisfy our needs, but something is still missing. For me, all of the connection that I eagerly crave today goes back to what was lost when I was a little boy. And I understand now that it started when I lost my mother. It started with a hunger for something that I couldn't even name. Since that hunger was never satisfied in any lasting way, I didn't know what normal, much less normal love, should feel like. I didn't know what it would feel like to have my needs satisfied. So I couldn't even name what was wrong. And for all of the decades of my life, I have felt something missing. The missing piece was love. I was hungry for a kind of healthy love and acceptance that I've never known. And that missing piece at my core left me with a vague knowledge that something was wrong. Because of that, for many years, an angry voice inside my head has asked, "What is wrong with me?" That didn't seem like a rational question that I could actually answer, but it reflected the way I felt inside, about some horrible shame lurking at my core. I mostly haven't been able to put words to the feelings. I've just sensed a horrible mixture of fear, shame, anger, and a tremendous terror that I could never be good enough, whatever that meant. At every stage of my life, I have tried to find things that could finally chase away those fears, something that could fill the void, that could make me feel loved and connected. I felt as though I was the only one who felt this way. I felt as though nobody else had experienced this core wound that I felt, and that nobody else had gone through the horrible and confusing patterns that I have put myself through. My well-intentioned father lived with demons of his own that made him a narcissistic monster. At times, he was a loving father. At other times, sometimes mere moments after one of the good times, he might become a raving and angry monster who seemed to hate me. I never knew what to expect from him. I could never truly win his approval, no matter how hard I tried. And I was terrified of him. I desperately craved the love and attention of a mother who left us for the first time when I was 5 years old. After that, she was out of my life far more than she was around. I thought I didn't care. I thought I had handled it just fine. But I had bottled everything up, and I was an emotional basket case. Deep down, I felt that I must not deserve my mother's love. And that pattern would follow me with women for most of my life. I have thrashed out in agony, metaphorically speaking, all my life. I've been afraid of the love that was offered to me. I've pursued love which I knew I couldn't have. I've trusted women who I shouldn't trust. And I've been unable to give up on fantasies of healthy love, which I should have known weren't going to be there. I was hurt as a child by what I lived through. I was desperate for love from both parents. I've tried all sorts of substitutes to fill that terrible void, but the only thing that will ever fill the void is real, genuine, and vulnerable love. That means learning who to trust. It means learning who not to trust and who not to count on. It means unlearning a lot of the lies that I've told myself. It means unlearning the lie that no one is ever going to love me and accept me just for being myself. We live in a dangerous and dysfunctional culture, but the biggest battle that a lot of us fight is at the core of our own psyches. If we don't win that battle and find ways to love and be loved, the world around us won't matter. Inside, I am still that 5-year-old boy who doesn't understand why he doesn't feel loved and accepted and cherished. If I can find a way to get that need filled, every other problem in my world is solvable. But until I fill that need, it doesn't matter what I achieve. Only real love and acceptance are ever going to fill that hole that's in my heart, that hole that's been there for as long as I can remember. As adults, we intellectualize everything. Or many of us do. I definitely have. We have trouble seeing how basic our needs really are. We believe that we are sophisticated and mature adults, so our needs must be for those shiny things that the adult world offers us. We reach for money, for power, for achievements, for positions, for success of every kind. I definitely have. But when we allow ourselves to quiet the monkey mind inside, we can hear the whisper of a child who still has needs that are far more basic. We still need connection. We want to be loved. We need to be loved. We missed something along the way that we needed. We're not sure what we missed. We just know something is wrong. And if we allow ourselves to be quiet long enough to see the truth hiding in our hearts, we can finally admit that it's love and connection and understanding which are missing. We can admit that some connection from the past has gone awry, and we haven't been able to bridge the gap between what we lost then and whatever meager connections we might have today. Along the way, many of us built defenses to cover up our need. I certainly did that, because we even hide the need from ourselves. Our conscious brain believes that it's in charge and is making the important decisions, but the child inside, that child inside is still crying for love, and that is who is actually driving us. That inner child pushes us to do and be things that don't always make sense to our conscious brains. That inner child has an instinctive understanding of what was lost and what we still need. And the child has unspoken hopes that our scheming and planning will finally get us what we've been craving from the day we were born. My need for connection is powerful, and it's complicated. It's colored by the loss of a mother at a very early age. It's colored by my shifting understanding of who my narcissistic father was. It's colored by needs which I felt as a child, needs which they couldn't fill, which must be met before anything else in this life is going to have meaning for me. It took me many years to know enough about my mother and enough about what I lost to be able to mourn that lost connection. It took me many years to work through my changing understanding of what I missed from my father and to mourn the loss of what I needed from him. I still need the connection and attachment which didn't develop in healthy ways when I was a small child. I still crave connection with my mother. I still crave genuine love and approval and acceptance from my father. But because both of them are dead, and neither was capable of giving me the connection that I needed under their lives' circumstances, I have to find my own connections to love and understanding and acceptance. I can intellectualize so much of what I need in life, but it all comes back to a need I first felt as a young child when I reached out for a woman who was no longer there when I needed her.